Hi, this is Hanegraaff, president of the Christian Research Institute and host of the Bible Answer Men broadcast with another Hank Unplugged short. This one may be hard to get through. I'm actually using as the basis for this Hank Unplugged an article that I read on the Human Events website. It's an article titled Detransitioner's Perspective, subtitled Awakening from the Dream of Gender Utopia. An article written by Ritchie Herron, and I guess it was posted September 13, 2022, so it's very, very recent. Ritchie talks in an interview he did on the Charlie Kirk show about the multi-billion-dollar transgender market. There's a lot of money in these hills. Androgen blockers, which purport to thwart testosterone, estrogen. That can cost somewhere in the vicinity of $30,000 per year. Genital surgery, where you get rid of the penis and you build a vagina by drilling a hole in the pelvis. We're talking about medical mutilation, top to bottom surgery. Again, a multi-billion, maybe $1 trillion industry, I don't know. But Ritchie writes and speaks, by the way, in a very compelling fashion. Ritchie was 25, a vulnerable adult with high traits of autism, obsessive-compulsive disorder, and substance misuse issues. I like this, substance misuse, instead of what's typically said, substance abuse issues. Ritchie says, like many, I was captured by the idea that I was less than perfect, and that the solution to my imperfection was to be laid on a path that would lead to a degree of unimaginable self-destruction. Self-destruction through irreversible surgeries that turned me into a lifelong medical patient. A patient reliant on synthetic hormones, under constant supervision for complications related to deeply invasive surgery. And all of this, says Ritchie, was in the name of the promised gender utopia. And yet at age 35, almost a decade after embarking on this deeply destructive journey, I've come to realize this is not the gender utopia that we were promised. The lies live in the language itself. And that is why even in transition, I do not call myself a male to female to male. No amount of surgeries or hormones will ever change that reality, the reality that I am a male. Only after disconnecting from social media, only after leaving online trans spaces, and then living with the permanency of surgery, was I able to even entertain the idea that this was a terrible mistake and that I had paid an equally terrible price. This dream that we could be ourselves through surgery and drugs, was a group-led psychosis. It ignored objective reality. It obfuscated truth. And through the assistance of mind-altering substance and hormones, we became collectively lost in this idea. And when that dream shatters, and you find yourself broken into a million pieces, I'm not reading every word, When you find yourself broken into a million pieces, then you become plagued with medical issues, the medical issues ranging from taking hormones to the physical mutilation and its after effects, which are visible. You can see it in the hair and the face and the sluggishness of movements, at least with trans men. Then add in the substance misuse issue, which is overwhelmingly prevalent amongst the trans community. This, along with the hormones, produces a powerful cocktail that can keep even the most fiercely intelligent individuals anchored in this utopian fantasy. And we haven't even gotten into the affirmation of teachers, medical professionals, and the commercialization of LGBTQ within our media, YouTube, and social media influencers. But it's all a lie. When you peel it back, you see an ugly, decaying, infected wound that's spreading its way into the minds of the most vulnerable young children. How dare they tell children who are at the beginning of puberty that feeling unease with their body is a sign that they are the wrong sex? How dare they tell any one of us that we are less than perfect and need to be improved? This is not gender utopia, the gender utopia that we were promised. Instead, it's the dystopian nightmare that would make even Orwell wince. Then Ritchie ends his piece with two words: wake up. The video on the Charlie Kirk show, the article itself, you can find on the web. I, again, just read a little piece of it, but honestly, I've been talking about this for a long time, and it tears your heart out when you see someone who, a decade after they embark on this alleged utopian dream, are now left with a shattered life. And as Ritchie points out, the people that brought them to the precipice now walk away. I mean, if you go against the narrative, you're dismissed. On the other hand, there are a lot of people who simply look at you and say, I told you so. And either way, you're left to try to pick up the pieces of a broken life. And ultimately, the only one that can put that life back together, maybe not in time, but certainly in eternity, is the one who spoke and the universe leapt into existence, the one who knit us together in our mother's wombs, the one who says that we are fearfully and wonderfully made.